Good afternoon, students. Today we will do with the thoracic cage and its joints. So what is thoracic cage? First of all, the skeletal framework of the thorax is known as thoracic cage. So this one is the thoracic cage. This is the trunk of the body. The trunk of the body consists of two parts, that is the thorax and the abdomen. So which is separated by diaphragm. The part which is related upper to the diaphragm is the thorax and lower to the diaphragm is the abdomen. So the cage, the skeletal framework of the thorax is known as thoracic cage. So how it is formed? Thoracic cage is formed anteriorly by the sternum. You can see this one is the thoracic thorax, the area of the thorax. So it is formed anteriorly. The anterior boundary of the thoracic cage is formed in the midline by the sternum. This is the manubrium, this is the body of the sternum, and this is the xiphoid process. Posteriorly, you can see the posterior boundary of the thorax is formed by vertebral column T1 to T12, thoracic vertebra, which forms the posterior boundary of the thoracic cage, and the lateral boundary, or on each side you can see the 12 ribs. The inner surface of the rib is forming the side boundaries. So there are 12 ribs on each side which are forming the lateral boundary of the thoracic cage. So you have already done about true ribs and false ribs. The upper 7 are the true ribs and lower 5 are the false ribs. Why? Because they are directly articulating with posteriorly with the vertebra and anteriorly with the sternum, the first 7 ribs. Here it is broken. This is the first rib, second rib which articulates with the manubriosternal angle, then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and these two are floating ribs, last two, 11th and 12th. You can see they are directly articulating only with the vertebra. Anteriorly their ends are pointed, or these are known as floating ribs or false ribs. And last 8th, 9th and 10th ribs are also called as false ribs because they do not articulate directly with the sternum. They articulate with the next higher costal cartilage. You can see over here. So these are also called as false ribs. Coming to the shape of the thorax, you can see the shape of the thorax is like a truncated cone. So what is the meaning of truncated cone? A conical organ जिसका apex हमने cut कर दिया. So that is known as truncated cone. So you can see the inferiorly it is broad and superiorly it is getting narrow, and here it is apex is not there. So this is a shape resembles a truncated cone, and this is known as superior aperture of the thorax, and this is known as inferior aperture of the thorax. Now this superior aperture is continuous with the root of the neck. This superior aperture is continuous with the root of the neck. The neck and the thorax is separated by a small membrane that is known as suprapleural membrane. Here suprapleural membrane, or the Simpson's fascia, or the cervical diaphragm. So here at the root of the neck, which separates the neck with the thorax, there is a membrane that is known as suprapleural membrane. This is a triangular membrane on both sides. So two triangular membrane. It is attached on the inner border of the first rib and transverse process of the C7 on each side. So it is the Simpson's fascia or the suprapleural membrane extending from the inner border of the first rib till the transverse process of C7. And inferiorly the thorax is separated from the abdomen by a large muscular diaphragm, musculotendinous diaphragm, which is having many openings in it. So that separates the thorax from the abdomen. Now the superior aperture of the thorax, this where my hand is placed, this is known as the superior aperture or inlet of the thorax. So this, you can see the boundary, this is the inlet of the thorax, this. So coming to the boundaries of the inlet of the thorax, anteriorly you can see the manubrium part of the sternum is forming the anterior boundary of the inlet. Posteriorly you can see the first thoracic vertebra. The first thoracic vertebra is forming the posterior boundary of inlet. We are discussing only about the superior aperture. So first thoracic vertebra, and on each side the first rib. So these are the boundaries of the inlet of the thorax. So that I have already told you, the inlet is separated from the neck by the suprapleural membrane, which is attached over here. Now the structures which are passing from the root of the neck to the thorax, they all will pass through this superior aperture or the inlet of the thorax. This is the inferior aperture of the thorax or the outlet of the thorax, which is covered by a dome shaped musculotendinous, that is the diaphragm. Now coming to the boundaries of the outlet of the thorax, this is the outlet of the thorax. So the boundaries of the outlet, anteriorly you can see the infrasternal angle. The infrasternal angle which is formed between two costal margins. This is the costal margin which is formed by 8th, 9th and 10th ribs. These are the costal margins. In between these costal margins, this is the infrasternal angle that is forming the anterior boundary of the outlet. The posterior boundary of the outlet is formed by 12th thoracic vertebra. You can see this is the 12th thoracic vertebra. The 12th rib is attached to it. This is forming the posterior boundary. And on each side, the side boundary is formed by the costal margins. So this is about the outlet of the thorax. Now, which is covered by a diaphragm. It is also having openings. Diaphragm is having three openings, three large openings through which the thoracic structures passes downwards. There are three openings, that is the vena cava opening, esophageal opening and aortic opening in between in the muscular and tendinous part of the diaphragm. So that you have already done, the openings of the diaphragm. Coming to the joints of the thoracic cage, the first joint, that is the manubriosternal joint, that is between the manubrium and the body of the sternum. This joint is the manubriosternal joint, which is a secondary cartilaginous joint. Now next joint, which is between the sternum and the costal cartilages. So the name itself says that is the chondrosternal, between the costal cartilages and the sternum, that is the chondrosternal joint. So the first chondrosternal joint is the primary cartilaginous, and first it will articulate here, second will articulate at the manubrial angle, that is the sternal angle of Lewis. So first is primary cartilaginous and rest are the plain synovial joint. The next joint which we are dealing with is the costochondral joint, between the rib and the costal cartilage. These are the costochondral joint. All costochondral joints are primary cartilaginous joints. Now we will go behind. So here you will see the joint between the transverse process of the vertebra and the tubercle of the rib. So this is the costotransverse joint. This is the costotransverse joint, which is also plain synovial joint. Costotransverse joint. Then next, costovertebral, that is between the rib, head of the rib and the articular facet of the vertebra, that is known as costovertebral. Vertebra और rib के बीच में costovertebral joint, that is also plain synovial joint. Next you can see this vertebral column. In between the vertebral column you can see the intervertebral joint which consists of a fibrocartilaginous disc, that is also secondary cartilaginous joint. The joints of the midline of the body are secondary cartilaginous, that is the manubriosternal, between the manubrium and the body, the intervertebral disc and the pubic symphysis. So these three joints are secondary cartilaginous joints. So this was about the joints of the thoracic cage, and we have already done with the boundaries of the thoracic cage. This was the superior aperture of the thoracic cage. This was the inferior aperture which is covered by the diaphragm. The shape of the thoracic cage resembles a truncated cone, that I have already told you. So you need to remember the boundaries of the superior aperture, boundaries of the inferior aperture, structures passing through the inlet, structure passing through the outlet, and the types of the joints of the thoracic cage. That's it. Thank you.